Super fast orders in the game, ready to ignite. Put up a fight, gonna leave them all in fright. Playing Magic the Gathering on a Saturday night. Summoning creatures, casting spells with all his might. Sipping on more coffee to stay awake and bright. Caffeine runs fueling his creativity inside. Got a YouTube channel where he's shining so bright. MTG 3, the show that takes flight. He's a lyrical beast, spitting fire with every bite. Rap metal flow, pounding beats to inside. No one can stop him, he's on a meteoric height. Super fast tortoise, the champion of the fight.
Good morning, hope you're up. Enjoy that coffee in your cup. Good morning from the shelf. Super fast tortoise does so well. Sit back, relax, time to chillax. Face the facts, morning coffee show intact. Let's enjoy the show, let's enjoy the flow. Morning coffee is the best. Chatting with friends, we are blessed. Into the mood, coffee for every dude. Have fun, enjoy the show. Let this channel grow. Let's enjoy the show. Morning coffee is the best. Chatting with friends, we are blessed. Into the mood, coffee for every dude.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
All right, well,
Good
morning. Oh, look, there's
There I
Cookie.
am.
There's his face.
There I am.
There's his face.
Yes.
Well, we missed
Nice.
you. We've missed you.
Yes. I missed you guys too. I forgot I can do the
Yeah,
weekends.
where have you been?
I've been busy during the morning, so
Mm.
I don't have time to. The time I get done, it's almost one in the afternoon. So,
Mm.
but I
Right.
do watch the show. I
Well-
do make comments, but that's about as far as I can go.
Oh yeah. So
I like your hat.
we are here. Thank you. You got it from me a few years ago.
Yeah, I know. I
Oh,
like
little flex there, huh? Well, so
Yeah, well, what,
today we
I
got
can
it.
change my hat.
Oh, there you go.
but
Yeah.
ta-da.
All right. So,
Like I was saying, we have an interesting show today. We got a topic that we're going to deep dive into, try to break down the nitty gritties because, like, there are things people do. We know some people who proxy decks and don't actually fulfill the decks of real cards, but actually just have proxies, right? So we're going to get into that a little bit later about things. Yeah, we're going to break it down as much as we can. But like, because like last night I made a 10-minute video right before I went to bed. I was actually in bed when I made the video, and I'm like, I'm just gonna make this video. And so I made this video and posted it up, and it's not exploding or by any means, but I'm getting some interesting reactions and comments in the comment section, which is what it's for. And right now, if you look at chat, you can see Real Wiz is going crazy with the idea. He's like, it could be good, that's could be bad, and you know, says what does it before buy so, you know, all that kind of fun stuff, right? There's good moral applications to it, and there's bad moral applications to it, and we'll get into that. But not now. Now it's time to do the meet and greet where we're saying hello to everybody. Hello, Darkmaster Gaming. Hello, Mrs. Hillbilly. Hello, Real Wiz. What is up, and how are you doing today, Mr. Hillbilly?
I'm doing actually pretty dang gone good.
Yeah,
pretty
dang
dang
darn
dong,
good.
dang dong, dag vomit.
I'm doing pretty good.
Collectible.
Ooh, vegetable
Well,
collectibles. Oh yeah.
I was having some internet issues before the show, but I caught that Hillbilly and KJ were just talking it up, becoming best buddies without me behind the scenes.
Yeah, we was.
How dare
Yeah, we got a barbecue planned. Oh, wait. Anything.
Right?
Yeah,
Barbecue.
we can barbecue us some dogs and some
Wow. I hope you have.
hamburgers.
Yeah.
Do you live,
we
do you
hope
live in Ohio or something?
Me?
dogs.
I used to. I used
Ohio.
to.
Makes sense.
Yep.
I've
Oh,
been to
well,
Ohio. I never lived there.
I lived there for about a
Apparently,
year.
the political joke just went over you guys' head. That was a big meme for like 15 minutes, and you guys just went, "Boo! I don't know. What does Ohio have to do with anything? Because they're eating cats,
Springfield,
they're eating dogs.
Ohio.
Springfield, Ohio.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
We are
Okay.
going to offend one person by talking about Ohio. That is Mississippi Billy. Well, she is from Ohio.
Yes, from my
You know, a little fact:
Well,
Ohio has a large population of Amish people. I love Ohio.
Yes, yes.
I love Ohio.
Interesting
Pennsylvania.
fact about Ohio: it's not really a state. It's just a piece of blip on the map.
Ohio.
Yeah,
And one of my best friends from the military lives.
I actually
roommate-
like
Ohio's like Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Yeah, Ohio's just like Wyoming, right? It's not really a state. It's just an empty space on the map, and they just had to throw a name at it. Like when they saw Ohio, someone was looking at the map and they saw an empty space, like, oh, Ohio, there's nothing there.
I don't know.
For those people who live in Ohio, we apologize.
Yes.
I actually like Ohio. I mean, it's a pretty big place and a lot of stuff to do. A lot of times.
There's a lot to do in Ohio.
Oh yeah.
They got the what's the Football Hall of Fame there in Ohio? The Canton.
Yep.
Isn't Ohio part of the 12?
In Dublin, they got national golf course that they do the golf on. They got my best friend who from the military lives in Ohio.
Yep.
So
They got
you
their
know
own.
what's funny? Oh, go ahead here, Billy.
They even got their own chant where you go. One person says "OH," another person says "IO," Ohio.
You know what else is in Ohio that's fun is the National Air Force Museum.
Yes,
Man.
which should be in Colorado because that's where the academy's at. But
You know,
You know what's also in Ohio?
Buckeyes.
the Ohio players.
Nope. All the chicks with the crimson lips saying Cleveland Rock.
Cleveland
Rock.
rocks.
Yeah.
Cleveland rocks.
Drew Carey show.
Yep. Yep, the Drew Carey show.
That's right. I was wondering if anybody's going to catch that old school the jingle from the intro to the show.
Yes,
Yep.
I would, 'cause
I used to watch that show until they canceled it. Now he's doing Prize is Right.
Yes, right.
Right.
He used to watch it because mommy told me he couldn't stay up to watch it.
No, they recasted him as another Drew Carey, a guy who looks exactly like him but half his size. Just
I think
saying,
it-
like
I
all
think
of a sudden, like one day he was like super skinny, and I'm like, what happened?
What happened?
I
What
think
happened?
What happened?
I think it flopped when they tried
Yeah.
to cast Cleveland
Yeah,
Rocks.
Cleveland Rocks. You couldn't do it without Drew Carey because it was based off of his character.
I'd like
From
to
the
see that
stand-up.
show come back again. You know, just saying,
Yeah.
I'd like to see that show come back again.
Yep.
Right. It could be fun. Could be fun. Could you, dude? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I had a snafu on my dialysis on was it Thursday. It didn't go right, so
No.
we had some issues. The needle went through the vein and it filled up my arm with blood. So
No, that's not good. That happened to Casey once in the hospital. That was not a good story.
well, we caught it in time, and you just have to let the blood go back into the tissue. Takes a few days.
Right. You have to absorb it.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that,
That can be dangerous.
it's going great. We had to do another week of training. So all next week I'll be training. So I'll probably have to
Yeah.
see you on the weekend, but I can watch the show. But I'm doing good. How are you doing super fast?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty lively. Hoping to spark up a good conversation today. Going deep and delving in stupid things, you know. Like
Yeah.
normal, just having a blast. And,
Having a
and
blast.
daydream about KJ. KJ, how are you doing today?
All right, all right. I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. As you can see, I had to use the teleprompter over here to show myself because I'm not really at the nightclub. Just this TV that you see me on is, but I am in this void of static, as you can tell behind me.
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Look at this. I don't know if you can read it.
Fan
No
letters?
address. No addresses. No addresses.
No.
Fan letter?
These are old addresses, so it doesn't matter.
The old addresses. Yeah, true. Those are old. I saw that old address. We found what's that?
These are pictures I don't know if you or your brother sent these. There's no really clarification. I think you sent them. But I found letters from you from I'm not gonna read them, but I'm not gonna show it to him, but maybe I can show a picture if you have a picture.
TCG dude says turning in the baby building, aka hospital. You going to the hospital? Or you be on other ones?
Oh,
Is
It's
today
time
the
for
day? Is today the day?
is it time for the baby?
Is it time for the baby?
Go.
This is
I'm
cute.
the baby.
I'm so excited.
I'm not gonna show the writing, but I don't know if you can see that. I don't want to show the writing.
Yeah, that
Looks like a
that was
pirate.
my a long time ago.
That's something that Derek drew a long time ago.
Go.
Long time ago. But I thought that was
Long,
Long
long
time
time ago,
ago.
when I was a little kid, I
You weren't
used
little
the force
kid.
with medical.
You weren't a little kid. You were a kid, but you weren't little. I think you're in 16 or something. No, that was younger. 14 maybe. Anyway,
I
I
don't
thought it
know.
was
I don't know.
cute. It brought back good memories. So
Good memories. Well, I hope I bring back good memories and not horrible memories.
no, not horrible memories.
You-
I never had horrible memories from you. So they've always been good. Always been
Sounds
happy.
good.
But anyway, enough of embarrassing super fast.
Super nice.
That was a
They're
wholesome
embarrassing.
moment. That was wholesome.
Wholesome.
Let's get
Yeah,
a hashtag
wholesome.
wholesome in chat. Hashtag wholesome.
Hashtag
Yes.
wholesome.
I wish I could
Tortoise
show you all.
was-
I gotta find all his drawings that he did and show him on the show one of these days.
Go.
He was a good artist. He's better now. I mean, these were super cool.
He's like, but Dad,
I don't
you're
know if I'm better
embarrassing
now.
me.
I don't know if I'm better now. I haven't really drawn anything serious in 10 years. So
I don't know. These are about 10 years ago, maybe. No, they're older than that.
older than 10 years. That's like 20 something years ago now.
Yeah. That's when
I'm
you were
40.
in high school.
Yeah,
When you were in high school, I think.
High school never ends. Do 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 do. I know. I'm going crazy with the copyright
Yeah.
match tool here.
I'm still
Yeah.
I'm still a junior, unfortunately.
Yep.
That's true.
You know, the problem with high school, the kids break their legs when they leave.
Yeah.
Get it? High school legs.
Oh,
break.
yeah. Okay. I'm like, I was trying to measure that one up.
I was too.
Accidental humor in the morning. Sorry, everybody.
I'm still in coffee
Sorry.
pot number one.
You can come back to the show
I haven't had
now.
enough coffee for that joke. Not enough coffee for that joke. Sir, we need more coffee.
Well, happy. Yes, I'm sorry, you folks. You can come back to the show. No more accidental humor.
Oh my lord. What a day, what a morning. Internet was
Yes.
acting up a little bit earlier. I had to reset my modem. So I lost
Oh,
complete
no.
connection for a bit. So let me
Oh,
know
wow.
if there's issues in chat. Let me know if there's issues. Me glitching, joining the matrix or something. Let me know if you hear a dial-up signal.
Oh wow.
Well,
14-4.
yeah. So far, knock on wood, you're doing. Your stream's going great on your end.
It's going great. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa.
Yes. Yes. What was I saying? I was thinking of something. Oh well. That's what
That's the
happens when you
dangerous
get-
part. You were thinking.
Yes, very dangerous. Don't let me think, guys.
Hurry, distract them with words.
Yes. No,
Words.
it's a terrible situation.
Words.
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 Word up. Do you remember that?
That's word.
up. Yeah.
Word up. Yeah. Some people still say it. Some people still use it.
Really?
Old school. Word up. Yep. This is a very heavily 90s reference. Some people still say
Sometimes
it. But now
we'll
it's just
even
word.
sometimes we'll even send the direction of the word instead of up, but towards your mother. Word to your mother.
Word
to your mother. That's right.
So just
Great.
change
So
the
what's
direction.
You can take that to the bank.
Word to the east.
Ooh,
Word
I like
to the
your
west.
thumbnail. Cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Cool.
But with that, hit our debacle of just talking about everything and nothing at once. I'm gonna press this button right here.
You are watching Super Fast Tortoise.
Put up a fight, gonna leave them all in fright. Playing Magic the Gathering on a Saturday night. Summoning creatures, casting spells with all his might. Sipping on more coffee to stay awake and bright.
Whoa! Look at that. We are here. We were there. Now we are here. If you look on the map,
Wow.
everybody, we are here.
We
And we were lost in this weird conversation. Just strange. It was us. We went everywhere. We splattered. But Hillbilly has the power. He harnesses the power of direction. He can point to different directions and be like, that's where you need to go. And where we need to go, Hillbilly knows. Hillbilly, what's the next segment of the day?
Card of the day. Combo breaker.
Ooh.
Copy.
ooh.
Chapman.
Copy
Hillbilly got some
Chapman.
fancy version of this. Hillbilly got some fancy version of this. That's in my little trade box that we have.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that. But like this, I chose this card because it has the word copy in it. That's it. That's all. Because of today's topic. I'm like, let's do copy. I could have done copy artifact or copy creature or something like that. But I went copy enchantment. Because Tortoise loves enchantments.
Well,
copy.
this card has gotten better, actually.
Oh yeah. You now copies enchantment creatures that are big and scary.
Yep, especially with Dustborn, because Dustborn's full of enchantments.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty confusing. As a copy of enchantment comes in play, you may choose an enchantment in play. If you do, copy enchantment comes into play as a copy of that enchantment.
Yep.
So if you have an enchantment on board, it becomes a copy of that enchantment. Copy enchantment.
So that means you have
Copy
two of the
enchantment.
same enchantments.
Yep.
Yep.
Ooh.
It takes
Wow.
all the attributes of the other enchantment that you choose. Like one of my
Oh,
favorite
wow.
little combos with this is copying enchantment with a privileged position. Privileged position says other permanents you control have hexproof. Copy enchantment copies that, and everything you control has hexproof.
Yep.
Wow.
Means you
Awesome.
can't touch this. No, can't touch this.
Is that all blue? Is that a blue card? That's a blue one, right?
This is a blue card. The other card I was talking
Oh,
about has a blue version now. That's from Dustborn, but the card I'm talking about, Privileged Position, is a green-white Celestia card.
Ooh.
You have to play green, white, blue.
That's
Green,
right.
white,
That's
blue.
the deck it's in. It's in.
Well, I was asking
you
if
played
it was
against
blue
the-
or was colorless. That's what I was asking. But that's a
No,
blue,
it's not colorless. They wouldn't make a
No.
color spell that powerful. Jeez, it's not like they made giant Eldrazi with annihilating abilities. Oh my
Okay.
lord! Let's see. Let's see. Let's roll on some pictures of the day. First picture of the day. I'm sorry, I drank all your coffee.
Aw,
Oh,
you can have my coffee after I eat you.
That's right.
so cute. Wow.
That's funny. I didn't realize what's on the cup. My wife has the exact same coffee cup that's on the picture.
Rainforest Cafe.
Wow.
Yep. Same color and everything, just minus the dog. We already ate the dog. No, I'm kidding. We didn't eat a dog.
Someone playing with what's that called? Photoshop.
I think that's an actual miniature puppy. His name should be Chicken Nugget.
That's cool.
Right?
That's crazy. Okay, next.
All right. Next, I found a picture of KJ as a cat.
Yeah. Yeah. I had an itchy nose.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just happened to be looking at you when I was itching my nose.
Right?
very interesting. KJ, how could you violate the family friendly format?
Oh, very carefully.
That's not right. He was itching his nose.
I was
That's right.
itching my nose.
He fell in the loophole.
I had an itch. I had an itch. I swear.
I swear you did. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
But how can you?
So funny.
How can you scratch your nose with no hands and your head's in a jar? I'm trying to figure that out.
Oh, this is before the incident.
Before the incident. All right.
But KJ has a transmogrifying machine, like in Calvin and Hobbes. He can transform to any animal he wants to.
Calvin and Hobbes. Oh, I haven't seen
Classic.
that cartoon. I haven't seen that cartoon in centuries. Jeez.
Yeah, I see it about every day on Facebook. I follow the Calvin Hobbes page. Boop, boop.
Oh.
Then the last picture of the day is a picture of Coogee Dude when no one's looking.
Oh. Okay. I've had my coffee. That's right. Do you think the dress is too big? Should I make it smaller? I don't know.
Right. Well, anyways, this picture is from the old-fashioned Wizard of the Oz, colorized, and it was a good old movie back in the day. Still held as one of the most debunked movies ever out of times. And I say debunked because there's a lot of things that back in the day, the visual effects had a lot of things saying or showing things that look different, which I don't want to get too much into. But there was like the scene where this bird is stretching, people thought it was something else. And there was a lot of horrifying facts that people were shilling out that were not really facts, because back in the day, the quality of video wasn't up to par like it is today. Where when they upgraded the quality of the video, they debunked a lot of that stuff.
You got to remember, this is actual color footage. They didn't colorize it. The movie was in black and white, but they shot all the fantasy in color, real color. So in 1939. Color came out in film, but it was too expensive to do. So that's why all the movies weren't colorized.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Yep.
Makes sense. And with that, I found a picture of Hillbilly he came to my house last night. Hillbilly.
Oh Lord.
And he found my ring. He found my Ring doorbell. Even though we really don't have one. But he found my Ring doorbell. And it took a snap picture of him.
Life without coffee is like something without something. Sorry, I haven't had any coffee yet. He's looking for coffee. Wonderful. That kind of looks like super fast in the morning without coffee.
That's actually how I feel when I wake up in the morning. There ain't no coffee. That's sitting inside my bed there. Where's my coffee?
Where's my coffee?
Well, I can only have one cup. That sucks.
Yeah, and it does suck.
I love coffee. I could drink coffee all day long. But
Right. I thought this was a cute picture of a tired cat.
yeah.
It's like, but it looked like it reminded me of Hillbilly. I don't know why. It doesn't look anything like Hillbilly, but it reminded me of Hillbilly. It's like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired. Tired.
I'm tired.
Tired.
That's a Saturday evening. Tired. Wow, you've done you really went retro on your background there, huh, Cowboy Dan?
Oh yeah.
Retro.
What's that?
Yeah.
Did you do voice too high? Cut it out.
Who's
Did you see
voice?
those cards up on the Discord? Because kitties, and yes, they are twins. No, I didn't. I didn't, not yet. Matthew, what's up?
What's up, Matthew?
Yeah. Nice. Nice to see you. And we got Mugen Full in chat. Mugen Full.
Hey, Mugen what's up?
What's up, Mugen
Hope
Full?
things are doing good for you. Hope things are going well for you. Can't wait for you to be back on the show.
It ain't the same. Yeah, I know one thing about the show. It ain't the same when somebody that's always here, not here. When somebody that's a regular is not here, the show ain't the same. Moving forward, we are missing you.
We miss you. They miss
you.
They miss me because I'm not on the show very much this month or last month. But that might change here in November. Who knows? Maybe sooner.
Yeah. So James Willis has been missing his song of the day.
Yep.
Oh, yes, I have to find one for today, so I might have to take a couple minutes off and look for one. But we'll see. I'll do that later. Later.
Do it later. See you later, alligator. All right. No, I'm kidding. All right. So, now, if you have a picture of the day, if you have a picture you want to share for the day, like Investable Collectibles shared in Discord, and I'll share it tomorrow on tomorrow's show, post them in Discord, and you could be part of the show on the show. I'll show those pictures of the lovely cat cards that are on the Discord. Now, if you have a question of the day, you can do that on Discord too in the video chat Discord question of the day section, and that's where we're headed at right now. Because
presented by Discord, we have the question of the day.
Question of the day is by the AI Joker, by Heath Ledger's AI Joker. Let's see what he asks.
Why is proxying a few cards okay and proxying a whole deck not okay? What is the madness factor here?
Madness factor.
Well, my opinion about it is, if you're like, let's say you're running a deck, because there's decks out there that cost like $1,000, and let's say you want to play that deck, you ain't got $1,000 to get that deck. So I can see proxying coming in the picture there just to play that deck.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as having every card proxy, no. Lands, why? Lands don't need to be proxied. Why? Why's proxy lands?
Well, some people will find an artwork of a land and proxy that out, print it out, and use that artwork that's specific. Some people will find a theme that artwork goes with, and they'll proxy that out if it ain't a real Magic card yet. And then, some people do this. Oh, sorry, I saw Mugen's full thing. Let's try this again. Try what?
Huh.
Mugen full. Hi, y'all. Hi, y'all.
But, yeah, I can understand why people will proxy. It's understandable. But I don't think that they should proxy their whole deck, though. But I can also understand that a $1,000 deck would be proxied.
Right. Yeah. So when it comes to proxies, most times I don't care if it's a few cards that you're proxying in a deck, but there's an unnerving point where when you end up proxying a whole deck, it kind of gets on me, especially if the intent's not to acquire the real cards. Like I made a video. Sorry, everyone knows it. I made a video yesterday, and it's kind of a couple interesting things going for it, and it was pretty decent. But like the response is pretty decent for what I got, and I think there's a tool for proxying. Like if you want to see if a card works in your deck, and you proxy it before you. So maybe it's like a $40 card. It's better to proxy it, try it out, see if it works before you buy it. Or if you have proxies and you're like, I want to try the deck before I invest the whole thing, that's a good way to do it. But we know some people who proxy a deck and they're like, this is my deck, it's a whole deck. I'm not trying to acquire the real cards for it. You know, then there's a element there that I think that just aggravates me because it's like, but you're not playing with real cards, even though they're real. It's a real game, but there's a weird morality factor that jumps into it. But yeah, so I think the madness factor is that there's a blurred line in the morality of it, varying on who's using it and how they're using it. And could you do disappear? What?
I'm still here. I'm just don't want to distract the show from what I'm doing here.
Well,
I'm trying to think and nothing happens, man.
I don't really care about if somebody has some proxies in their deck, but I don't think they should all be proxied. Also,
right. That's how I feel. Like
I'm kind of on the same boat with you on this.
Right. It just gets rough, like in the idea of it. And oh my lord, where did I go? Oh my lord. I went to copy some text from Discord, and there's already a bunch of replies to the topic of the day in Discord. Was not expecting that.
Oh yeah. It happens.
All right.
I had a thought about this after the other day of when we talked about this proxies the other day somewhere else. I had the thought process in my head, and I was thinking to myself, if I didn't have a complete game, I was out of whatever because I lost a game piece or whatever, I'd make a proxy of that game piece until I was able to afford to replace the game.
Right. I even covered that. And when we get into the segment, I'll go over what I talked about because it's kind of in the monologue.
Oh,
right?
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. No, good. No, you're good. It means you're sharing a shared track of thought. But with that, we're going to get into the segment here because I got some monologue.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe.
Moves, the strategies, and the flair. Superfast Tortoise is running the show. The crowd goes wild wherever he goes.
All right, so before I get to the monologue, because I have in this video last night, if you didn't watch it, this 10-minute video, I said I started talking about, like, say you have a game of Monopoly. You lost a few hotels, maybe a couple houses, and a couple chance cards. So you proxy those in, right? Mm-hmm. No one's going to bat an eye if you proxy those in, right? Because you already own the game. You bought the game. And you're just Jimmy rigging the game to have parts that work for it. Like, even if your fancy hotels are a couple cardboard cutouts, you're just filling in a gap because you lost those parts. But like, what if you went to your friend's house? Maybe you played a game of Monopoly, and you looked at the instructions, followed all the pieces, wrote down all the cards and everything. Then you went home, got a piece of cardboard, made a game board, and completely made the game yourself. Right? Proxopoly, game checker. So what if you made a copy of Monopoly all yourself, like the whole game? Right? like you took the hotels, the chance cards. Like for some reason, I can't think of the other cards, but there's another set of cards that are not chance cards. But
Community chest.
Yeah, that's it.
Community chest. Right. You made all the cards. You made the board. You made the houses. You got the dice. Maybe you made the dice. Maybe you stole dice from another game, and you made the game itself Monopoly on your board. You made all the properties. You made everything. Just an exact replica of the game. You took the time. You were dedicated to, for some reason, to not spend the money, which is like $20 nowadays, on the game, and just built the game from scratch. Now, you didn't steal it because you created it, but someone's game now lost a purchase because of it, right? That's the moral. That's part of the morality implication. Now, with that, I'm going to delve into the monologue, which says, "Let's talk about proxies and question everything." And this is not a bash on proxies or anything. This is like a deep dive, and let's think about it. Let's get into the morality of proxying, copying the game, not just small proxies, but full deck proxies. The question is, what is the moral proxying of proxying cards in heavy amounts? Like copying a full game, taking business away from a store or a large company, like Wizards of the Coast. Let's talk extreme here and go extreme. What is the best and worst case scenarios? Would you create a copy of a game of Monopoly? How about copying a video game? Like, say you knew how to do the graphics and do the coding, and you just copied Spider-Man, right? You just made an exact replica of the game. You knew how to do it. You made an exact replica of the game. You didn't steal it, but you made the exact replica. You're that knowledgeable. You just didn't buy the game. Or how about 3D printing an exact copy of a toy? Like, say there's a Transformer out there, and like you like the Transformer, and you have a 3D printer. And you put all the schematics in there, and you copied that Transformer, right? Like 3D printed. All right. Or how about making an exact copy of a song, like a cover a song, but you did it because you didn't want to purchase the song, but you liked the song, so you made a copy of the song and say you had the talents to do so and did it, right? So there's a lot of weirdness that goes there. There's a lot of lines to cross, like recreating all these things. All these enact to not buy the product, basically, or support a brand, or support a company. Now, our friend Bob was saying, what if you went to a restaurant, ate a nice steak dinner with mashed potatoes and Brussels sprouts, right? He didn't go in that exact route, but what if you had a good meal at a restaurant? Then you went home and recreated the meal. Well, that's not stealing because you're making the meal at home. But what if you made the meal and just decided never to go to the restaurant again? So now that restaurant's losing money, right? Mm-hmm. Now, that's like an extreme example, which we're kind of touching on these extreme examples. But what happens when you take something? Like, what if I made it more personal? What if I recreated KJ's character persona, and I wanted to use Cowboy Dan? And what if I recreated it? What if I used Cowboy Dan for some of my episodes where Cowboy Dan is not there, but I proxied him into my videos, without his permission? How would he feel about that? Especially if I was like defamating his character for the comedy of a scene.
I get where you're going with that. I think in that case scenario, you're looking at the difference between making a parody over making a proxy, though.
Right. Well, so what I'm getting at is like one person, like Bob is defending proxies, which I don't mind Bob defending proxies because like I have a couple proxies in one deck, right? So I'm not completely against proxies here, but I want to kind of go to the extreme because there's a very thin line between stealing and not stealing here. I don't know what the word is I was thinking of, like stealing.
No, so
Not,
let me interject here, Rick. Can I?
yeah.
Okay, so if you duplicate a game, or you duplicate a personality, or you duplicate a dinner, but you use it personally, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you start duplicating and selling to somebody else, and that is crossing the line.
Right. Well, so here's the thing. Right now, with Magic, when you proxy a card, you're not just playing Magic by yourself. You know,
No,
you're playing with other people. Right? You played Magic.
right?
Like you wouldn't
Yeah,
play Magic by yourself and be like, I win
yeah.
every time. You're not playing by yourself to win.
You're pretty
Right?
bad if you lose,
So
right?
you're playing with other people. Now, different people have different ideologies. Some people are pro proxy, some people are straight up against proxy, right? They're straight up against proxy. And there's people like me who's kind of on the fence, right? You know, Hillbilly's played against people's proxies. I know because me and him have a friend who's pretty much proxied almost every deck he has.
Yeah.
You know, and we don't tell him no. We let him play most of the time, right? We don't give him help. But the morality is in question here, not the proxy, right? The morality, right? So like, say dad got into art, right? Dad created painted a picture of himself, a self-portrait, right?
Ooh, terrible situation.
And he was selling this portrait for $5. $5. It's a beautiful portrait. He's holding a flower in one hand and Rob Zombie record in the other hand, you know?
Rob
And
Zombie,
someone's
yeah.
like, I like that. And even dad's selling it for $5, but someone's like, I like that. So they copy the image and post it on their wall. Dad's out $5.
Yeah. But you
You
can't
know?
stop people from doing that. It's like me.
No, you
and
can't.
It's like when I have an album and I record it onto a cassette tape. And
Right.
so if I can do that, it's duplicating the original. I can do that. But once
Right.
I get it, and right on, KJ. At least I got one fan, right? You know, but once I get that tape and I go to Hillbilly and say, "Hey, I got this album. I want to sell it to you for $2." Now that's
Right.
breaking the law because now you're keeping the artist from making money. But
Check this out. Check this out. There are people who use their own printer to print out cards, but there are people who go to professional companies print out proxies, like across the seas, like make trading card games or makecardgames.com or something like that. People send the image of a card, probably have a different back, but they print the card and they never get rid of the card. But sometimes people will take these proxies and trade them or add them with trades in real life. Like, that's a guy's cradle. I need a guy's cradle. Well, it's a proxy, so I'll trade it to you for $5. You know, it's not really buying, so it's not selling, but you're distributing it. Now, I know we live in a different world, but remember, we used to make mixtapes. We used to make mixtapes for the girls in our life. We make mixtapes for our friends. You know, we were distributing songs, right? There was nothing illegal against it, but the issue is people were giving away free music when you can make copies, and like you can't help the era of I still make mixed CDs every once in a while. Like I need a new CD reader for my laptop, but like I used to make mixed CDs, right? And, you know, play them on the radio. But if I gave that mixed CD away to say someone that don't live with me, like my neighbor, I just broke the law because I gave them music, even though I just gave them.
That's not making the music. That's not against the law.
But they're not making money off the transaction.
Yeah, but you're not selling it to them. You can give the music away because you're not making a profit off of the artist's thing, you know. And I make mixtapes and mix CDs all the time, and and I'd give them to my friends. That's not against the law. But if you sell them, then that's against the law.
Right. But but the morality is someone worked hard and now their stuff is being given. Like I understand free advertisement because that's pretty much what it is. Because when I was a kid, if I really enjoyed like this band's music, I'd buy the CD. Right. But not everybody buys a CD. I mean, remember Napster? Napster was a thing.
Napster, yes, I was on that for a long time.
Yeah, Cane Shaker says Chinese fakes proxies are getting way too good. They look exactly like real cards.
Yeah.
And Tibalt's like, you never made me a mixtape. Hey, Tibalt, what's up?
What's up,
I'll
Tibalt?
make you one, Tibalt. I got plenty of them already made up.
If you give something, it's not illegal. That's true.
True.
That's true.
But it's a blurred line, right? Now let's get off of music because it's easy to get on music.
Yeah, but what about we'll get back to you send in a card overseas to make a deck, okay, and they reproduce the deck and they send it back to you. Now, are you cheating WotC out of money because you send it overseas?
Well, if it ain't WotC, it's a local game store or the internet, right?
Okay, so
but here, let's put this. Let's focus the question here, right? What if Dad wanted a deck, right? Dad wants a deck, and instead of ordering cards online and putting this deck together, he's like, "Well, I don't have like $400 to shill out on a deck, but this deck list is $400." So his thing is not to resell the deck. So he wants a deck, so he prints out the deck. One card at a time, puts a real card in there, puts a piece of paper over the card, sleeves the deck, right? Makes a whole deck. Even to the basic lands. Like some people I like Bart Simpson on a basic land, so he's gonna be on every land, right? Bart Simpson. So basic lands are inconsequential, really, to proxies because there's plenty of them. But still, the whole deck's 100% proxy, right? You just took away the game pieces, right? You took away from the game piece from that are out there, like the singles market and everything, right? And you just completely created a deck, right?
Right.
You created a deck out of non-real cards. You just printed real cards, put them in a deck. They're real, right?
But so let me follow you here. So you're printing out cards that are just made up. They're not duplicates of anything else. They're just made up.
Duplicates of real cards. Duplicates of real cards, right?
Okay.
That's the idea of proxy. You're not making proxies to say, hey, let's try a new card out. I have this idea for a card that destroys a creature and draws 15 cards. No, you're like, I like this hero's downfall that destroys a creature or planeswalker. I'm going to proxy it, and I'm going to keep the proxy, right? Because we're going to the extreme. You're keeping the proxy. Like you got some fancy art. You got yourself on this artwork. You're holding a guitar, a sick riff, and your hero's downfall, and your sweet music is destroying a creature or a planeswalker. Which is cool, creative. Then no one's really going to care in general that you made a proxy of a card with your face on it. But 15,000 people download that card. That's a big number I just made up. 15,000 people like the artwork of Coogee Dude ripping a sick guitar riff, and they like want that card, and now they're replacing it or putting in decks instead of buying the real card, right? But when you get bipolar with it, like with the idea, it is like you make a whole proxy deck, right? A whole proxy deck. That's because we're going to the extreme here. The whole deck is proxy. You basically took a game of Monopoly and created the game of Monopoly. You took all the pieces. You made your own pieces. You made the board. You made all these Monopoly pieces, from the cards, the hotels, the houses, the dice, whatever. You did everything. So you didn't buy the game, but you stole someone's intellectual property, right? Intellectual property and made it your own, right? That's proxying, that intellectualness. Like like there's time like my original theory on proxying is it's okay if you own the original card or if you and you're proxying it because you don't have it, or the card's way too much money, no longer in print, no one's going to care because you're not going to spend $500 on a land. I mean, I could go delve
but I don't. I'm not really following you. I mean, I'm not following the thought process.
All
I
right.
understand.
what are you on?
Let's say this card right here is $500.
Okay.
You want this card for your deck.
Right.
$500 card. Could you buy this for $500?
No.
But could you buy a proxy for $5? Which is an exact copy of this card. Exact copy.
Okay.
Would you buy a copy of this for $5?
I'll buy a copy. Oh yeah, for sure.
That's what a proxy is.
Right. So you just totally took the money from one store that's legit, then took the money for something that's fake. Gave the money to something that's fake.
Yep.
Okay. So how would you know if it's fake if it's an exact copy of the original?
Well, if it's listed as a proxy, because there's a lot of stores out there that sell proxies, which is not illegal, but morally is not allowed, right? You're not supposed to sell a proxy. You're not supposed to distribute the proxy, but you can sell a proxy as a proxy as long as you know it's not a real magic card and there's implications of real magic cards. Like I have a proxy somewhere in my mix of cards where they have non-magic back, so you know it's not a real card. You can't sell it as a legitimate magic card.
Right.
But there are people who make proxies, and as Kane Shaker said, right? There are proxies that are too good, that look too good as real cards that they get implicated. Like there's one proxy of a card I have in a deck that I sometimes forget it's a proxy because it looks real. But I know what deck's it in. When I know a deck's a proxy, but it's in there. It's in there.
Okay. They'll have the same background. There'll just be one tiny little thing that's different. But you have to, look at the card real close to know that it's a proxy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who looks at the back of the cards? I mean, I don't look at the back of the cards because they all look the same.
Well, when you're selling a card, you look at both sides of cards.
Yep.
I agree, Cody, dude.
That's what seems to be both sides of the topic of discussion. Well, I'm trying to cover both sides for sure. Hey, anybody want to buy a Karn Liberated? Well, I understand the joke because he's got some proxies of Karn Liberated and he got some real cards of Karn Liberated. The proxies look so real, he got mixed up. He don't know which ones are real. He doesn't know which ones are fake. So he just keeps them.
Wow.
So it's literally a gamble.
It is a gamble. I don't know. I'm kind of. It's kind of like, if you're playing Magic and you use a proxy. I mean, why does it matter? Because you're not giving the people the card when you play Magic at the end of the game. You're keeping it. Does that make it bad because it's a copy and you're playing against originals? I mean,
all right. Let's say that back to this card right here, $500 card. You buy it for $5. I'm losing $500 because you didn't buy this card from me.
Right.
I'm talking about if I was a store, your local LGS.
Right.
And I have this card for sale for $500 because it's worth $500. I mean, this card ain't, but I'm just using this as an example.
Right. I understand.
But
all right,
I have this card for $500. Instead of you buying this for $500, you go out and buy a copy of it for $5. I'm losing out on money because of that. Because you're buying that proxy.
But but that's not my problem. My
Well, it's
problem is to save money.
But all right, here's another moral implication, right? Are you thinking morally? Let's say you love Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, I do, man. He's my superhero. Next
Right?
to you, super fast.
Right? Say you love Ozzy Osbourne, and you could buy an Ozzy Osbourne poster for your wall from Ozzy Osbourne's company. For $55, you can have the sweet Ozzy Osbourne poster, or for $10, you can get an exact replica that's a bootleg of the poster that's not really from his company. It's not considered real merch for your wall, right?
Well, that case,
There's no case. There's no case. That real magic card and a fake magic card, you're either supporting the company that's making the cards or the company that buys the cards to sell the cards, right? From Card Kingdom, Cool Stuff Inc., whatever. You're still supporting Wizards of the Coast through the real product. You're still supporting the company. So you take the funding from a fake card in Magic, right? The funding from a fake card, you take that, and you're taking away from supporting the game you love, even though you're playing the game, but you're taking away the support for the companies and real companies that make the game.
Okay, I'm picking up what you're throwing down, but it still doesn't make sense to me. That I don't. The big deal is that you're cheating the company out of money.
Well, you're cheating someone. You're cheating someone.
Okay, so how do the cards get out there? The cards are out there already, so somebody can put them up on the internet, and you can download that card, and you can make a copy of it. Is that what you're saying?
People do that all the time. Yeah.
Okay, so people do that all the time, and once the card is downloaded, it's now a proxy. Because
when they print it out on a card, it's a proxy. When they make a physical version. Okay. Think about this, right? I built Kuji Dude a commander deck. Kali of the Vast. That deck is legal to sell if he decided to sell the deck and needed to make a little scratch. If it was proxy, he wouldn't. I gave him something that didn't really have value. What if I give you false gold instead of real gold there?
Well, yeah, you want the original. You want the original. I mean, if you want the value of the card, then you buy the original. You go to the company or you go to the LGS and you buy that card.
Right.
But if you don't care about the value and you don't care that you're ever going to ever trade them, I mean, you never know, then you don't care that it's a copy because you're going to keep it. You're not going to sell it. Right. You cheat the LGS and watch it out of money. But if you're never going to do anything with it other than play with, so can you play proxy cards with? I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Can you use a proxy card to play Magic with, or is it just there to sit on your wall?
No, proxy cards are there to people play with the cards, right? You can't play with proxies in tournaments, but some people try to get away with it still.
Yep.
Proxies and Commander are casual, right? That's why it's like an iffy subject. But morally, some cards, like I have a proxy guy's cradle somewhere, just not floating anywhere, right? Yeah, if I tried selling, which I wouldn't sell because the condition of it's horrible. But if it looked perfect, I could sell to someone for $500, they making them think it's real.
Yep.
Well, they would know if they're a seasoned Magic player, they would know a fake from original because they know what to look for.
Not always.
Not always.
Some cards are too professional. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, yes, it's wrong to cheat the companies out, but everybody does something to get it cheaper. They make it themselves. You can't make you can't make this thing and then sell this thing as original to somebody else. That's against the
Well,
law.
that's
And like,
the moral implication. What if you had this thing, this fake thing, it looked real, smelt real, so you sold it as real. Now you just cheated someone out. There are
right,
people who do that, and
Oh
see,
yeah.
that's the moral implication. You could be the most honest guy in the world, and you're like, "Oh, this is a proxy, right?" But like someone steals your collection, they don't know it's a proxy. Oops, they just sold a fake card and made deal, right? Not your
Yep.
problem. Your problem was they stole the deck,
right,
you know. But now there's a fake in the world, and that's a problem. Like, counterfeiting is a big thing. Now,
right,
counterfeiting is the intent to sell, right? So
Mhm.
once your proxy that you weren't going to sell was stolen is now sold, it's a counterfeit item.
right. But that's, I mean, you can't help that if someone steals your stuff and then resells it, you know.
Right.
And
But so to the moral implication, this is splitting hairs, but the moral implication is proxying can be bad. Now, like I said, I own a few proxies. KJ doesn't own any proxies yet, but he might one day. Poor guy.
Well, I was buying some Pokemon cards right at the beginning of the pandemic, and I bought a used lot, and somebody had fake cards in there, and I felt ripped off. And I'm like, if you're gonna make your game cards so that way you can make a deck or make a game that you can play with your friends because you don't have all the cards, that's one thing. But if you're gonna sell your lot of cards, pull out your proxies.
Right.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Because
I
Right.
mean,
it's a disappointment when you
Like-
get in a
like-
shipment and it's like half of them are fake.
oh yeah, yeah. I understand that. I understand that if you're going to buy something and you got its value X and you expect value X, but you get in there and you got fake cards in there. Now value is not what you value to that.
Yeah.
What if,
Right. So
yeah. What if you're in a situation where, let's say, let's say your car is almost no empty, and all you have is a magic deck. And that's all you had to sell, but your magic deck is all proxy. You'll be lucky to get money for gas selling that proxy deck. Somebody that knows real cards, wants the real cards, they won't buy those proxy decks. Then you're screwed.
well, so the neat thing about proxiers right now, in most of the cases that I've seen, is when they make a proxy of a card, they'll like make an alternate back, or they'll do something to the card, so you kind of know it's a fake card, right? They do something, so you know it's a proxy. So that's the implication. That's a good moral implication there. That they like, this is a fake card, you know it's fake. But even though you're still not spending money on the company that's supposed to be supporting, basically, when you buy these cards. But like there are people who still make replicas of the card. Like you can find them on Temu, you can find them other places, proxies that look real, and people try to flip. Some people try to flip. And I know this because there's a shop down the street. And there's a scenario where people are digging through cards all the time to flip cards all the time, which no bad implication in wanting to flip cards. But there are people who got a deal on some proxy that looked real, and they were having this big discussion. Well, what if we got these and flipped them? People would never know the difference, and we can make some money because the cards look so good, right? This was a while ago, a long time ago, right? And proxies at the time didn't look that great, but there was someone who made proxies look good. There were some dual lands and stuff like this. This was before proxies were huge, but when people were playing with proxies, because Commander was kind of new. So the basic judgment of character comes down to the judgment of character, like who's getting him, how they treat him. Like I know for a fact, one of our friends in our community, Gaming Bob, he has some proxies, but his intent's not to sell the proxies, right?
Right.
But he has enough of a collection himself.
Bob, I'm just
Hi,
using,
Gaming Bob, what's up?
So, Bob, I'll just use that as an example because you never know when something happens.
Yeah. But still. Um Well, so we actually just talked about that. A proxy can become a counterfeit depending on the transaction. Like, when someone stole your proxy deck, proxies look really real, and they sell them. Your proxies go from proxies to counterfeit cards.
Yep.
And I know your proxy cards don't look like magic cards all the time, so I get that. But that's not how all it is. You can defend it however it is. There's always a moral implication. Like yesterday in the video I put. Still, like when you take someone's intellectual property, like Monopoly, and you create the whole game yourself instead of buying the game, you're really stealing someone's intellectual property altogether. And I think that's a good thing to run with.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the whole thing then. You know,
I absolutely see that point. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No problem. If it's intellectual property, then proxies are bad. They should be bad all along and should be banned from anywhere because
that's
stealing.
The dilemma.
You're stealing intellectual property. These people at WotC, they hire somebody to do the art. They hire somebody to do the wording, you know. And so these people need to get paid. But if you're making duplicates, these people aren't getting paid because, you know, they got fake cards out there, and they're not making money because you're not buying the packs. You're just buying cards that are bad. So in that case, proxies are bad all around. You know,
right? Well, that's the moral implication.
Yeah,
like I said, I'm not like I have a couple proxies of my own. I know some people who do, but I wanted to get into the moral implication of it. All right, go ahead, Billy.
Yes and no to your commentary, Cootie Dude, because I don't think there's nothing wrong with proxies as long as you're not selling them. Because once you sell them, they're counterfeit, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. Because, just like I was saying, you know, a card that'd be a $500 card. You want that card? You need that card. You can proxy it, put it in your deck. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But if you take that card and then try to sell it, that's where the main problem is. When you're trying to sell that proxy. Getting it, copying it, and putting it in there ain't no problem.
Right. And the conversation is not about selling counterfeits. So that, as chat's going to explode. But like I think, like, say you have a whole proxy deck, right? The deck's complete proxy all the way down the basics. Is that just as bad as copying the whole game of Monopoly from scratch, right? Be tempting to play it to see someone's jank version of Monopoly. Like, here's my little sculpted hotels. Here's my cards. Print it off myself, right? Like, or something like that. Like, just,
yeah, but
that's an interesting thing. That's the
dilemma. That might be okay because you're using it just to play. You never plan to sell a duplicated Monopoly because, you know, if someone wants Monopoly, they're going to go to a thrift shop and find one, or they're going to go to the, one of the stores that sell it and buy one. But if you're just, you don't have $25 or $50, whatever it costs to game Monopoly, and you print your own up and you make your own hotels and you got the dice and you still play the game, they won't look the same, but the game's the same. The rules are the same,
I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. An easier example is that old man who makes a checkerboard in his wood shop, and he just made checkers, but he makes his checkerboard or chessboard in his wood shop. Is that a proxy game? if
No.
the old man made a game from scratch, even though it's the same game that already exists. I see what where you're going.
Because chess and checkers is not intellectual property. It's a game that's
I was
been
just
out
using
there
that as an example.
Right. Yeah, you know.
But
So
what I'm saying
well,
is
if a company makes something to sell to the public to make money, and then you duplicate that and you use it for yourself, and you don't sell it, you know, the company's still losing out money, but they're not losing more money because you're selling it to somebody else who won't buy the game. You know, and if everybody makes their own game, then guess what? It goes out of, you know, they go out of business. I mean, simple as that, because everybody's making their own game. You know,
Mhm.
so
Oh yeah, like, and I guess I've seen people do fancy things with games. Like I seen someone create their own Monopoly board. They own the game, but they made their own Monopoly board, and they made their own pieces, like out of wood and stuff. Made a fancy version. Las Vegas done it, but they had to pay rights or royalties. You know.
yeah. So should you pay royalties if you buy a proxy to WhatsApp? You know, send them a check for, you know, $5.
Let me ask this, says Gaming Bob. How does WotC losing money from someone proxying dual lands? They have been out of print for 30 years. But what about the newer sets? People are printing proxies in newer sets. It's not about the old sets. It's about newer sets too. People are proxying. Like there's people on Facebook. There's people on some Discord sites, and there's some people on Reddit just doing the free magic thing. Like just going for the free magic and all that jazz. They're not intending to sell, but they're trying to get magic as cheap as possible, and they're proxying cards for cheap. That's the moral implication. It's not about old cards. If you think proxying, and I don't think Bob thinks proxy is about the old cards, but those are the more high targeted cards for proxies. But it's all about that. But it's all about like the newer cards, newer stuff.
So I don't know. It's a very depends on how your morality is and how you think of things. You know, it's an individual thing. I mean, you know, companies duplicate stuff all the time. People duplicate stuff all the time and rip people off. You know, if you sell a proxy as an original, then, you know, who's the one that's going to suffer there? Well, you are, because you know, if someone sold me a proxy, I couldn't tell a proxy if it slapped me in the face. Tell you the truth, because, you know, I don't have any. I've never seen one. You know, maybe when we go off the air, you can show me what one looks like, and, you know, it's not that when you go. I mean, like when you go on eBay and you buy cards, or you go to Amazon, you buy cards. Are you guaranteed that those are original? I mean, on eBay, you can't trust it. I mean, but I think Amazon would put protection in for that. I know eBay does have protections for that, but, you know, what's the best place to buy your cards is at a game store, you know.
Right. MTG Gaming Bob is saying that the proxying doesn't hurt WotC, which doesn't always affect WotC, but it does hurt the secondary market. The secondary market is actually kind of important to the game of WotC. But also, people who are proxying are not pack digging, right? And not everybody wants to buy packs, but if you're not pack digging and WotC's not making money, I guess that hurts WotC a little bit, like a little. But he says, I don't see proxying hurting WotC at all. Maybe, maybe not. But it's taking away money from the game itself. Support the game, I say. The game stores also do not own the IP. It's true, but I don't see game stores selling proxies either.
I don't either.
All right, but then we got something to say, Hillbilly?
No, I'm agreeing with you.
All right. Then with that, we get to
hit that subscribe button. Become a part of the creep.
Too much to take. Show is lit. MTG 3, are you game? Rise, creep, rise. Building a following as we gain. Spitting fire like a dragon. No one can bring us down. MTG 3.
Billy will play pieces in hand.
Magic the Gathering is where he stands. Booster, stack up like a dream in this world. He's the dream of opening fire, emotions on the wire. His hands are his tools for the fight, flipping cards all through the night. Hopes and dreams in every pack, he won't ever turn his back. Fire in every pack, he opens.
Dad, blind it.
All right,
Pack
got
opening.
a pack of Dustborn. Ooh, that was easy. Got an art card. Got a room.
Ooh.
Underwater
Get a
tunnel
room.
and slimy aquarium. Then we got
nice.
lakeside shack land. Oh, got another room. Roaring furnace and steaming sauna. Can't see the writing because of the glare. I'm sorry about that, folks. Attack in the box. Those are a stick twister.
Ooh, ether armor. Nice.
Ether armor. Nice. Anthropode. Spectral snatcher. Oh,
Another one. Wow.
This is a room pack here. We got motoring gym and weight room.
Nice.
Then we got tunnel surveyor, shepherding spirits, vicious clown, broiler briggs ripper, and our last card is fear of the mobility. There we go.
Boom. That was awesome. Awesome.
Awesomeness. Yes. Very good. You got three. How many? Three of those double cards. What are they called?
Rooms.
Rooms.
Yeah, rooms.
It's a new card that they introduced into Magic. New card type.
Yeah. The Balt's Apprentice. I know people that take pride in the fact they don't support the game at all, but feel entitled to play. Yeah, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting way to look at it. And this I agree with. More people playing means more advertisement and interest in the game. I like that thought about it. So yeah, the whole show is about to figure out the morality of it. You know, get into the morality of it. What are you taking from? What are you giving? It's not an attack on proxying. But like I know it sounded like I was attacking proxying, but like what happens when you take something and you make a fake? You know, make a fake of it. Like if I took Monopoly, you made a complete game of Monopoly instead of buying the game. It's not hurting the store because the store never got my money. It's not hurting the company because it's not really. I'm not the one buying it, but I made it. But like now, take that in fact, and like 1,000 people did it. Well, there's thousands of dollars that didn't go into investing. You know, that's kind of the thought process behind it. You know, but you know, the products be what products are. Heavy subject, big subject, probably too big for my hands.
I don't know.
So,
it's a very interesting subject. Everybody has their own view on it. You know, depends where you stand on the line. I mean, you're either on the line, you're either on the right side or the left side. You know, which side is
or I like
right?
to be on the fence because, like I'm talking like bad about proxies and stuff here and there, but Bob knows I don't care if he's running proxies, right?
Yeah, I don't care if you're playing a proxy. I wouldn't know anyway, but you know, but if you have it has to do probably has to do more with collectors, but collectors wouldn't collect them, right? Unless all they do is collect proxies. You know,
yeah, collectors are normally not the ones in general getting proxies, but I've seen collectors take proxies because they have like a card that's graded or it's expensive and they don't want to play their deck, so they make a proxy to replace it. Right?
That makes
so like
sense.
if they had like a $500 card, they'll get a proxy to replace it so they don't ruin the real card because it's worth like $500.
That makes
So
makes sense. I mean, that's
right.
what
So
when I got a. I mean, just to put it in sense that makes sense to me is that makes sense to me. Like if I have a record that's worth $1,000, I'll play it once and record it on tape, put it back and never touch it again and play the tape.
Right.
You know, I'm not cheating the company. I'm just because I already bought the record. I already have the record. You know, so I'd use a proxy to protect it. That makes sense.
Right. So there's a lot of implications, and yes, that makes sense. People do that. So that's how it works. But now we're gonna roll off into the shill section. We're gonna start with the cartoonistic characters of the show, and we're gonna go into KJ.
Hey, howdy, hey, boys and girls. How you doing in Chatland today? I hope you're being good heads. So we had a lot of fun over the last couple of days, a lot of hanging out on YouTube. And for those people who hadn't had a chance to do so, make sure you go and give Investable Collectors a happy 3-year anniversary. He's been celebrating this week. We got an episode of Procrastinating Across the Ocean coming up on Wednesday, but other than that, not really much planned.
Not much planned, but chilling out, looking cool with the Super Mario Bros. Boop boop. But now we're gonna roll on to Hillbilly.
Alrighty, folks. I got 676 subs. That's great. That's awesome. Let's continue growing the channel. Let's actually work on everybody's channels and continue to grow them. And the way to grow them is simply support them, such as likes, comments, if you're new, subscribe. All that helps. And I'm going to be doing a afternoon stream. Not sure what time it is because I got something I got to go out and do. But make sure as you're subscribed to me, make sure you got that bell notification hit. That way you know when I'll pop on the lovely YouTube. And I'll see everybody this afternoon.
Whoop, whoop. All right. And now, rolling on to Could You Do? Do we got a song of the day?
I do. I do have a song of the day. This is, I don't know if anybody ever heard of this group, but this is called Savoy Brown. I don't know if you can see it. This is Savoy Brown. This is a group that preceded Foghat. So most members left this in the form of Foghat. But anyway, the song of the day is Maybe I'm Wrong. We talked about proxies. Maybe I'm wrong about how I think about it. But that's the song of the day, thought of the day. And that's it. Pass it on to our fearless leader. Super fast.
Woo woo. So, big topic today. A lot of heavy topic. WotC, the secondary market. That's your whole game realm from WotC to secondary market. And if you're like I try to support the game. I try to support the game wherever I can, when I can. I try to support my local game store where I can. And I know you guys do too. You try to support your local game store. You try to support the game. And in the retrospect, in the end, no matter if you're against proxies, for proxies, or on the fence, kind of like me, as long as you love the game and support the game, that's the important part, right? Let's be civil. Let's not be crazy. I'm at 648 subscribers at the moment, and we're looking for more subscribers for the channel. We're trying to reach that 1,000 mark. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed today's topic, right? And hit that like button if you like today's show. If this show got you thinking and screaming at the phone, hit that like button. It means we got you involved, intrigued. I want to thank you guys for watching. Today is Sunday, so there's not going to be a later stream today. I want to thank everybody for joining the chat and being part of the chat. Here, everybody in chat, and everybody on the show. Hillbilly, KJ Brown, KJ Cowboydan,
Cowboy Dan.
You guys rock.
That's right. That's right. I think
You guys
should have a
rock. You
cowboy
guys
hat.
rule. Yeah.
Yep,
Should
it's
have
a-
a cowboy hat, but it's too big for the jar.
It'd be way too big for the jar.
Yeah, great show today. I mean, really great show. You know, so I hope people go away and think about it, and you know, and they carry on the conversation on their own channels. You know,
Right. So, everybody, thank you for tagging along, being awesome, being amazing. And my mouse is dying, so I got to charge it. So I got to end this stream very shortly. So remember, always have fun, be wise, brush your teeth, and boop.
I totally want to thank you for watching today's video. I really appreciate it, 100%. Like this video as if it's your favorite kind of pizza, dude. And if you wouldn't mind, consider smashing that subscribe button and hit that bell for notifications. Every one of these things you do helps the channel out a lot.
The moves, the strategies, and the flash.